Anime Dojo episode 20. Tonight we're going to be going through a couple different things. We're going to do a triple header basically. We're going through the last two episodes of Dead Mount Death play and the first episode of Jujutsu Kaisen, the Shibuya arc. So there's a little bit on the plate tonight. We are going to do one bit of news, not news really, but we're going to keep up with the anime charts. So I'm alongside Chris. Chris, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing good, buddy. How's everything going on your end?
Doing well. You probably can tell it sounds a lot more clear now. This podcast is leveling up somewhat, so it will sound pretty clear on both our ends. That's why we're working out. We were working out stuff early before we started tonight. But let's get into the anime charts because this chart was actually very interesting and something.
Boy, this chart was crazy.
This chart wasn't expected, so I'm gonna run this down real quick. We have Bleach at number 1, stays at number 1. Zom 100 jumps to 2, stays at 2. So this is basically them saying when it left the charts, it was at 2 or somewhere abouts. It stayed at that point. Musou Tensei dropped 1 spot. JJK season 2, which is the Shibuya arc episode 1, stayed at 4. So that's when it left. It was at 4. It stayed at 4. Dark Gathering stayed at 5. Stray Dogs 5 stayed at 6. My Marriage dropped 3 spots to 7. You had Undead Murder Farce drop 5 spots. My Tiny Senpai, which I've heard of the show, don't know much about it, rose up to 6 spots. I mean, there's that it goes from 9 to go from like 15 to 9 or something like that. So that's an amazing jump. And Ruben Consultant 2023 drops 2 spots. So, Chris, out of that chart, what was your biggest takeaway from that chart?
Yo, my biggest takeaway is Zom 100. Zom.
Still there?
Do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Was I cut out that whole time?
You cut out for a second, but yes.
Okay. My apologies, but looking at this, bro, Zom 100 is hanging with the big dogs. It's hanging with them bros. It's up there with not only Jujutsu Kaisen, who came back, but it's up there with Bleach, which is a granddaddy, and is right under it too. So that says a lot about that show.
Yes, it does. Zom 100 is at 2. Yeah, that's probably the biggest. Yeah, hitting at 2 ahead of Musou Tensei and JJK. Bleach is still sitting. Bleach is still sitting at 1, even though Bleach was probably the one I think was not surprising because Bleach is still doing strong. It's Bleach. People know of the series.
Well, Bleach is also finna take its a hiatus too. So
yeah, so that's not surprising. It's gonna take a little bit of a hiatus. I'm a little surprised. My Happy Marriage dropped speed spots, but we kind of mentioned that wherever JJK and Zom 100 hit, that's gonna be the other side of that. And then the other one that I think was really weird, Undead Murder Farce. Undead Murder Farce dropped from 5 spots to 8, so it was at 3 technically. Is that just because JJK and Zom 100 came back in, or is that because something else? Because that's the biggest drop on this list outside of My Happy Marriage. What do you think that's causing?
now that is a good question. So let me. I don't know, man, because well, let's look at it this way: the animes that are at the top at this point have been at the top most of this season. Because when you really look at the season as a whole, we've barely we're just now getting to the end of this. Well, of the summer arcs and the summer season. So
Yeah.
any shows that are remaining up there now are pretty much, to me, that's, if they were giving out awards for the end of this season, those shows are going to be the ones that get the awards.
And that's also with the fact that we had 2 delays for Zom 100. It didn't come out this week, at least. It didn't come out till Monday. The prior week, it didn't come out till Sunday. So that's been interesting. JJ did come back on Thursday. Bleach has been on the same day. Everything else has been their same day stuff, but even then, it's only week 9, so we have the last third of the season left. 10, 11,
But but
12.
but think about that though. Zom 100, it had 2 hiatuses and still came back, and look at what position it's in.
True. True. Second. Which tell me fans
Man,
are, which means fans are actually still liking it, even though with the delays. So delays are actually
exactly.
not hurting it as bad as you normally think it would.
And remember how we talked about that the last time?
Yeah,
Sometimes delays hurt it, sometimes the delays improve it.
correct. I'll
Now,
be interested.
I
Go
wish
ahead.
Dion was on here because I want to tell him I win. I told you so. I told you so. You remember that argument? You remember
Yeah,
that argument?
yeah. If you watched a couple podcasts ago or listened to a couple podcasts ago, we did talk about the fact that he thought delays were bad. Chris thought they weren't as bad. I was kind of in the middle. So if I'm in the middle, I was in the middle saying here delays not bad, but delays are normal things. I rather if you delay it, make it look good, make it good, and it still looks good. Someone Hunter still looks amazing, so it's not like it's delayed for any other good reason, any reason outside of that.
Exactly.
Um, yeah, but I'll be interested to see what goes on in week 10, 11, 12. That's going to really kind of indicate to me, based like you say, we're at the back half of the season now, so we're basically at the point where people have seen all these animes, they know of them. Um, we don't know how that's going to really change anything, but hey, ultimately, um, overall. This is all good for the summer anime season. You can see all this stuff. Now let's talk about this. We are going to be watching the last 2 episodes of Dead Mount Death Play, and we're going to roll right through them. So after the first episode, after this episode 11, we're going to roll right through to episode 12. At the end of episode 12, we're going to talk about each episode and just kind of give our thoughts about the final season, and then we're going to get into the main course of this show, JJK season 2. So as we're finishing up this little talk, get up episode 11 of Dead Mount Death Play. I also give Dion credit. I don't disagree with the fact that yes, if your show needs to be put out, put it out. I do agree with that. At the same time, delays haven't killed it yet. If it gets delayed again between now and the end of the season, then we'll have a problem. Because they're only in episode 7, I think. 6 or 7?
I'm not sure. I'm honestly not sure.
I think it's 6 or 7, so they're behind by like 2 weeks of everybody else. I think it's 1 or 2 weeks by everybody else. But that's not really bad when they can still go on after the fact. They just have to some episodes come out during the fall season, which is not a bad thing. Ultimately, Salmon Hunter looks good. The characters are fun. The story's great. That's not something you can change. But let us know what you think about these charts. I think these charts are great. I think these charts are going to be, these charts have really kind of seen what people like and what they don't like. So that's all good and dandy. Now let's get into the finale of Dead Mount Death Play. Let's get through these final 2 episodes. This has been a wild ride, and now we need to know how the story ends. So I hope you have episode 11 up. I will say 3, 2, 1, and then we'll get going. Chris, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. The beginning. That's an ominous title.
Man.
So he went missing while tracking down what the symbol meant.
I don't think anybody else would but a crooked cop.
Yeah, very much so.
This dude.
Okay, what the?
This dude has no idea how over his head he is.
He is so over his head. I think he doesn't. I think he feels like he knows everything, but he actually doesn't.
Hey man, well, life has a way of showing you that who's in control, and it ain't you.
Yep. Wait, he's talking about the cop,
Yep,
the blonde-haired cop too.
which is the one who's currently on his AWS.
Yep. Man, it's still one of the best songs to breathe in this season.
This is a really beautiful opening sequence, though.
Oh yeah, it fits the show perfectly.
Beautiful violence, or the art of violence.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I probably sound like some kind of criminal saying that.
But yeah, I mean, it can be beautiful art, even though it's like darker art. It's still beautiful. It's not like you're doing
Well,
it out of
well, the scene that popped into my head was a demon from Demon Slayer.
oh yeah. AI investigator. What they talking about?
Artificial intelligence, I'm guessing.
Yeah, but huh?
It's a little weird.
Very. I thought that was him, but But I was
His
like,
disguises are low key getting better and better.
I was like, there's no way a man would go see a thing. But I'm like, that's not a normal man either.
But then again, that's what he's looking for.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a magic trick. He drew that symbol perfectly, by the way.
Yep. Uh-oh.
He's about to blow his cover. He definitely about to blow his cover.
Wait. Ooh.
A girl in a wheelchair that has pigtails. She appears to be distressed by this path you walk.
Are you watching the Japanese?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm watching the English. Okay. I was like, what are you watching?
The first time around, I always watch it in Japanese just to get the context.
Oh, okay.
Now I usually go back and watching English if I want to.
Gotcha. Hmm. All right, bruh. You start peeking in on the supernatural. You peek that.
I'm about to say, you don't want to start peeking on Supernatural. Fire starter or fire safety. You really gonna try to check this person down?
Yeah, that is his job.
Well, y'all are crooked.
Right.
So he's not wrong.
Dang.
Even internet trolls have better manners. That's a line.
Yeah, it is a lot, but still, that's still saying a lot, though.
Okay, don't break his arm. Literally.
Dang. Ooh. Dang.
He dislocated his shoulder and then put it back into place. Okay, I like the guy with the glasses, but they all seem corrupt.
It all got something going, something that's weird with them. Handsome with 20 faces. That dude is pretty. That dude's disguises are pretty good. Dope.
That dude's disguises are just interesting. He wanted Pokey, but Pokey's asleep. Fire starter. Okay, that's just creepy.
Doesn't even matter. The language is creepy.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure it's the same song in English as it's Japanese.
Yep. Yep, it is. Who the? Never mind. She was supposed to be a witch, I assume, right?
I think so. Like, kind of like, what's that?
It's like a witch doctor, but not like a doctor. She's more like a sorceress.
I forget what you call it, but yeah. But that was his master though.
Correct. Teacher.
Dang, that's how you feeling, bro?
Jeez.
Oh, that's how he was feeling when he was in this.
Her Majesty. I smell something burning. The world is a bugging program. Are you a...
Termite or
Are you the bastard child of...
ooh, somebody I know from both planes.
Man, you should not have got involved in this.
Well, no, he might actually take on solitaire though.
Wait, you're 19? I kind of figured you were older. What the? Oh,
Oh,
yeah. Solitaire, you need to run.
yeah.
Thrill Seeker. We're making a move as well. Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Yep.
By the
They
by
they
the way, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, we're just gonna roll right through because we need to see where this goes. But while the credits are rolling, what was that? So now we're gonna have all the major players about to come for a fight.
and they all in the same place.
Yeah. So Firestarter knows what who Pokey's real name is. Solitaire thinks he's fighting a young kid. No, he's fighting a 19-year-old that has some kind of power. And then the son of the dad is like, "Oh, we need to get involved now." That kid just kind of blew our cover.
Man, what is really going on here, man?
This is amazing. We're not getting a final. This next episode, we're not getting all the answers we need. There's gonna be something left
Nah.
over.
Yeah, well, good thing we don't have to wait long for season 2.
Nope, October. The last episode of Dead Mount Death by the Sacred Place. Firestarter. What in the world? She's sleeping. Not shabby, young man. You're about to get sliced and diced, Solitaire.
So, and okay, see, here he just said not bad. I'm like, shoot, bro, he just threw you for a loop, bro.
Yeah, he did. Very chewy down a little bit.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
That's only because I'm like really close to it.
But so Firestar doesn't know who Pokey. Okay, so Firestar knows who Pokey is, but he doesn't know from what world. He doesn't understand what he's doing in this world. Then Pokey asks him about, "Do you know from my world?" And he says no. But Pokey don't believe that because Pokey thinks he's playing dumb.
I mean, well, I would too, man. You know, how does anybody from this world know anything? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Lemmings.
Yeah, yeah. He make you back up.
He's a monster. He's unidentified, unknown. He's one of my family that. Man, he's playing. He's playing. He's trying to play this up.
I mean, I don't can't blame him though.
Okay. Nobody would be able to walk that fast. Walk like that after getting shot. What the? So we go from having a fight to not a bunch of people getting caught.
Hmm. Ain't that something?
And why is the safety cops doing anything?
Maybe because they don't really know the whole story yet.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Like
No.
it's go time.
Okay. Are those dragons? Oh, we're in a different world now. Who's the girl in the tree?
I don't know.
Sorcerers. Okay, stop talking. You're speaking too fast.
Yeah, she's a airhead.
Is that coming from the teacher? Oh, that's creepy.
Oh, she's a whole tree. Hmm.
Empathy. He never lets himself, but he almost know well.
Wow. So he's genuinely a good guy.
Oh, that's creepy.
Ooh.
Oh,
They never said they were police.
actually, the one guy did. The one guy showed his badge.
Oh, okay. Dang it.
The one the not the one with the glasses, the one without glasses, the gray haired man showed his badge.
Oh, okay.
So he did say he was a cop, which kind of defeats the purpose if you're gonna try to be secretive about that.
Yeah, like I thought they were undercover.
But also, he's probably like, I can't get away with that. What the?
Here we go.
Do you feel chill all of a sudden? Yeah, that chill is he's taking over a building.
Talk about going on the defensive.
I like her design. I'll say that her design looks cool.
What is with all of y'all rhyming?
Yeah, there's a lot of rhyming here. There's a lot of like rhymes and stuff I don't. Those without the evil eye will change, but those who have enough time, you can just.
But why tell a kid all of that though? Like I understand you want to hype him up, but
And where is a tech dude
good question.
and zombie girl in all this? Invisible hand. Something feels different all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna slink away
Yeah.
or try to
If
slink away.
only y'all, if only they knew how far they got to run. They got to run like quick. Too late.
Look at me.
Uh,
It's lemmings. What do you expect?
okay, so he's OP as long as he's in that building.
That makes sense.
How much are you going to report, huh?
Oh, that's one of his men. I would suggest you run. I don't think you need to be staying on that building. This mana poor world. Thing is, this world has no magic.
Yeah, so it's a miracle that you even pulling what you got.
Invisible hands. Oh my. Beautiful.
Weirdly enough, I agree with him in that instance. This creepy yet beautiful world.
How did the Lemmies get all the way up there?
For real, because he must got serious reach. Okay, yeah, he don't want to be near him either.
You caught the one on the street, so you caught one of the fire starters. He's emailing somebody.
There is no doubt. Let's see. Uh-oh. He woke up. He woke up an old sick or something. All right, with the creepy music.
Oh,
Okay,
all
now I
right.
see why there's a season 2. Yep.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'm gonna do like we did last week. I'm gonna just run down the whole episode, then Chris, you can give your opinion on it.
All right, we running down the last 2 episodes or just
I won't run down the previous episode. I'll just give the highlights. Basically, episode
okay.
11, we got some more stuff with Solitaire. Solitaire goes to see Pokey and finds out some stuff about the former cop, a couple other things. He's in disguise. He's in a well-made disguise, by the way. The man knows how to make those disguises. After that talk, we find out that the cops, the blonde-haired cop, the black-haired cop, got all these people together. After the blonde-haired cop talked to the head of all cops, and he has this team now that will try to help him figure out what's going on. This team consists of this dude that wears glasses, the older man. The older man pretty much dislocated this guy's arm completely off at one point to stop them from fighting, and then relocated it into his socket. That was kind of creepy. Let's see. Other than that, the only other thing we got from that episode is just a lot of stuff about Kabuki's past, his former teacher, his former mentor who's trying to have been helping him, and talking about his old world. Chris, what do you think about episode 11?
All right, man. So episode 11, they called it the beginning because this is what I thought they were doing in like episode 3 or 4 when they was trying to set it up. But now this time they really set it up. Like they got all you major players in the same location. Now we got the fight we wanted, but then we also got a lot of other secrets too.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like they were like that was a real setup. We're giving you the bits of information, and now our main character knows this information, but he's putting it with the information from his old world. But he wasn't expecting that. Okay, but now I'm getting into the other episode. So now you go ahead and go.
Okay. I will say this before I get into episode 12. Episode 11, they do call this episode the beginning. I kind of wish you did this earlier in the season, because it gives us more background on Pokey. It gives us more background on what he's from. And also, it kind of tells us a little more about why he's doing what he's doing. This just feels like this feels like we're learning about him finally for the first time and what his real name is and what some other things about him is. So, with episode 12 leaves off with this fight. So it's Solitaire and the grandfather is one of his guards. They're about to have a scrap. This fight starts in episode 11. So the fight ends up starting in episode 11. Solitaire's caught off guard because Solitaire's like, "Oh, you're good. I didn't think you were that good." And like me and Chris are both like, "Wait, she's about to decapitate you. Why are you acting like this boy can't do anything?" By the way, he thinks this boy is a child. No, this boy is 19. So that's something else. But then on top of that, we go from that to Pokey sleeping. The pen is on the sleeping too. The Soul Shark sleeping. Next thing we see, Firestarter sings this weird song to burn stuff into the building. Basically saying, this world is not great. You are a tiny little insect in this world, and you need to. Are you more than an insect or not? Basically. Then Firestarter calls Pokey. They have a conversation. Firestarter asks, "Who are you?" Pokey says, "I'm just Pokey." And Firestarter's like, "Aren't you the guy? Aren't you this guy?" And they're like, "How?" And Pokey's like, "How'd you know that? How'd you know you're this guy? And do you know my world?" And then Firestar's like, "No, I'm not. I don't know your world. I don't know anything." He's playing dumb, as they say in the episode. So then, on top of this, we get the family, the father, not the grandfather. The father has all his men around him. He's like, "I'm trusting Lemmings to do his job, and I told him not to hurt the guard of my grandfather." So Lemmings just flies out of nowhere, jumps in the picture. He goes, "I'm going after him, or do I go after him?" So he starts walking after Solitaire. Solitaire's pretty much like being confident, but also like he is not confident in his mind. He's like, "I'm gonna get killed here. I'm done." He was not having fun. So
Not at all.
He was playing it off like Lemmings was his partner. The little boy thought the same thing. By the way, the The boy has been so wrong from episode 10 till now. Nothing he's figured out makes any sense of the plot.
No, it doesn't.
Not at all. So he's kind of out of the loop. So we have this fight. Lemmings is still walking towards Solitaire. The boy is like, I need to stop Lemmings. So he tries to stop Lemmings. Lemmings just keeps walking. Doesn't care. Lemmings gets wrapped up in all these wires things the boy can do. Gets electrified. Doesn't care. He's walking towards Solitaire electrified. And Solitaire's about to go nuts. So then Solitaire's like, I need to get out of here. Poof, smoke screen, balloons. He's out. He's gone. By this point, Pokey figures out that the people who are around him are somewhere around here. So he uses his evil eye to look around to see what he can find. Can't find the people who called him, but he finds everybody else. Then we see the two cops that are helping the blonde-haired cop, the black-haired cop, go to find the little girl who's part of the Firestarter gang. She's like, oh, we lost our dog. You know, they're like, you shouldn't be out this late. It's 3 a.m. in the morning. What's a young girl like you doing out? And she's like, she's about to walk off, but she walks back and goes, we were trying to find our dog. It was out late. My dad's trying to help me. And they're like, where's your dad? The other guy that's part of the Firestarter group walks up, says, meanwhile, looking for our dog. I do apologize. And this is where Chris thought the cop didn't show his badge. It does look kind of, so it does look kind of random because you don't look at it close enough. It was a quick shot. Literally, he goes, we're cops of the administrative like community kind of thing. He shows his badge and then asks her what she's doing out so late. So it's like real quick thing. You blink, you miss it.
I was gonna say, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but maybe it was one of those differences between the Japanese subtitle and the English dub, because they will make edits like that.
Yeah, and it's funny because he says, I'm a community service administrator. And I'm guessing what he's trying to say, I'm a cop, but he shows a badge, which is kind of weird if he's saying community service administrator, because I'm guessing he's like a part of the like committee for safety, basically. Like Chris says, translation, how they dub things, all that. So then we see Pokey wake up. The call drops out. Pokey's like, I need to figure this out. So Pokey just uses all his power. And if Dion was here, he would probably say the same thing I'm about to say here. Where did Pokey get all this power? And how is Pokey using all this power? Chris brought up a point which makes sense. If he's in the building, the power, he can use all that power at once.
Cool. Yeah, because that power. Yeah, because all those dead souls in that building keep him powered up.
Cool. That makes sense. But you haven't established that enough yet to make that make a lot of sense to anybody else. I think
True.
You've mentioned it in episode 2 where the zombie girl goes, all these dead souls are here, and this used to be a torture thing, which is supposed to give you the benefit of like, oh, he can use souls to keep his power up, but that's not fully explained. So then, from that, Solitaire is just trying to get out of here. The guard, one of the father's henchman guard things is calling the guy back and saying, you need to look at this video. As this all is happening, Pokey's just going ham. Pokey's just having these fans and things come out of the building, try to catch them. Doesn't. He catches a Firestarter. Gets one of the fire. He got the Firestarter girl. He doesn't catch Lemmings. He doesn't catch Solitaire. And the kid, I think, is gone at this point. The kid is just still on the roof, not even caring about. But the revelation to this thing, we cut back to his old life, and out of everything in this episode that you need to figure out is the one they have this conversation. The former teacher and this tree girl looking thing have a conversation. Most of the conversation is not really prevalent to anything except for the line she says, my former student, the boy, always had a good heart. He was always a good person. He always cared about people. Unless he gets gets controlled by his actions, he will not turn evil. Telling you that Pokey's been a good person this whole time.
Yeah, but it's gonna be something that's gonna push him close to the edge, though.
Closer and closer to the edge. So as we get cut back to the real world, he's using more and more of this power. He finally relents. And he relents. He kind of stares off in the distance. He doesn't really do much else. But in one fell swoop, we see the grandfather. So the father's like, you need to look at this video. And the guy sends the video of when Pokey saved the little kids, when Pokey used the power to do some other things, when Pokey did this, when Pokey did that. Then the AI program that's the AI, I think, cop, he sends out a bunch of wide messages. They're like, we need to see who this Pokey is. We need to see. Oh, we've seen this before where he says, like, I'm doubting who this guy is. What is this guy about? We need to search more, search more, search. And this part was really cool because we've seen this once already, and it actually made sense because they're like, we've been watching this dude ever since he came into the real world. So we know something about him that most people don't.
Like he's really a softie.
Correct. So then we cut from that to showing us Lemmings, Solitaire, the father again, because they show the father just sitting by at his desk, not really doing anything. The last person we see, we don't see the tech dude. We see Clarice. One of Clarice's men coming back, or ladies, I say men. One of her guards comes back to her and goes, there's some police outside. Should we be worried if Clarice is like, no, we're good. Something happened in Shibuya. And she nonchalantly does say, something happened in Shibuya. I'm just like, okay. You just nonchalantly just say something happened in Shibuya? All right, fine. But the last person we see before the episode ends is Zombie Girl. Zombie Girl is sleeping in bed. She has a body pillow next to her, looks like a dog. And she sits up for a second, stares at her clothes, and falls back asleep. Okay, random, and the episode ends. Chris, what do you think of episode 12? And I hope I did a good job explaining that because there was a lot.
You definitely did. I really don't have to explain anything. So honestly, if you
Well,
don't mind, I'll go straight to the rating.
Go ahead.
All right. So what I would like to give Dead Mount Death play for the last two episodes and for all the grief that you've given me, I give you a 7.2.
Oh, explain. I need to hear why, because that's
I mean,
that's low.
look, it
That's
is a
low.
good show, but how dare you make me try to attempt to wait a whole season to figure out that y'all are finna try to make the show bigger than what y'all had set it up to be. Because this is one of those shows that kept giving us the loop around. It's so much going on, and then you finally realize, like, oh, y'all are trying to set it up bigger than what it looks like. So
Mm,
therefore, you get a sense
man.
now. This can go up, just like I have done with this series. It can be improved depending on how season 2 comes out.
Okay. All right. So I will say this. If I had to give these last two episodes together first, I would give the episodes themselves combined 8.5. If I had to give this series a grade, it's getting a 6.
Ooh! Oh! Oh man! Oh!
You're like, how do you go farther than me? How'd you go lower than me? And the only reason why you brought it up, you're making the series seem bigger than it is. What was this ending for this season? The
Ex-
the revelation here is that Pokey's a good guy. He's a good person. He has a good heart, even though he's called the corpse god. And yet the cops are leading down this road of like, what is all this? What's going on with all this stuff? We don't know nothing. But yet, the only good thing about this is that that Solitaire has some stuff that he needs to try to figure out. He has some ideas. The boy that's the master's bodyguard is way off base. And the most intriguing thing from the last 2 episodes was the father contacting all those people through that AI program. What we assume AI program or a chat room or whatever. Because he was emailing people. He was emailing people. He was sending people stuff. So something's up. He knows something. What it is, I don't know. But then the thing that boggles my mind even more is the fact of the matter, you could have avoided all this by one simple thing, one simple change. And do you know what the change would be for me?
What?
That change is making Poki's backstory the first thing we learn about. Why are you giving us his backstory in episode 10, 11, and 12?
You make a good point.
Because his backstory is the most important part to learn why he's such the person he is. His former
Now
teacher.
that explains why we that creepy episode I didn't like because he was super nice all of a sudden.
Yeah. That and even it's funny because even the old man goes, "Why are you such a good person? Why do you care for her?" He even says, "Why do you care for the zombie girl? Why do you care for the people around you?" And even his former teacher goes in the episode, I think episode 11 or 12, I think it's 12, where she goes, "He's a good person. Do you see the people he's cared for?" They show the tech dude. They show the shark girl. They show the zombie girl. They even I'm like, okay, so this guy's a good dude. Give me that from the beginning.
Exactly, because I made him look like a freaking BA, you know.
But in his own world, he is a bad dude. Technically, he is a bad dude from his own world, but in this world, he acts more good because he want to help people. He doesn't want to be his bad self. And ladies and gentlemen, I will say this with all respect. Me and Chris enjoyed the show. We're looking forward to season 2. But you've made it feel like it's not worth the ending.
Just so our fans understand, when it comes to me, if a show falls below a 3, I'm not watching it. Because then at that point, it's just not any good. Just my 2 cents.
Like I don't usually go below like a set. I usually don't go below like a 7. But like this was not good. This was just out of its way to be kind of awkward. And the only thing that I think would have been a lot better, give Loki's backstory in the beginning. I don't mind you give us how he got to the world in the first place. That whole stuff makes sense. Getting to the world, why is he getting attacked by the her? Why is he end up working with them? Cool. After they start working together, I think the next thing you should have done was, here's his backstory.
But I can see why they kept his backstory to the end, though.
I can
Because
see
part of
it.
his backstory is tie into the story, the mystery of the story.
Yes, but I think also there's a problem. So we get Firestarter in episode 6. That's the mansion scene. The magic guy, which is Solitaire. That's the first time we meet him. The assassin, which is basically just a family. The rest of the family, and I think one or two smaller other characters. This episode 9 is where we get the signpost stuff. From 9 to 12 is all about signpost. But the problem is, from 9 to 12, you added 2 more characters. You added 2 other cops, which have kind of major roles in this. You added another you had another Firestarter person in this episode, which is the dude and the girl. And on top of that, you bring back Carice to say one line for no point of reason outside of the fact she's a major player. after episode 11, Carice, the tech dude, and Zombie Girl are all gone. Except when we see them at the end of episode 12. That's kind of bad. But
Yep,
but I digress because I hate to say it, but I'm looking forward to season 2,
that part.
which is
That's the part.
which comes out in October. So we're getting season 2 in October. When in October? We don't know yet. There's not really a timeline for it. But you're gonna have to really convince me that they're gonna make him a bad dude in season 2. If they're gonna make him a bad dude in season 2, his good guy arc was not that long. His good guy arc was less than like 6 episodes.
Yeah.
But hey, I mean, it is a good show. I'm not gonna say it's bad. I think it's good enough for somebody to watch it. Oddly enough, because like Chris mentioned it, he's watching it subbed. I'm watching it in dubbed because I usually watch my stuff dubbed first, even though it's already been out for a long enough time. I don't. I like to hear it dubbed. Some of the context is still kind of weird because, like, I think they say, like, he says some things in the probably in the subbed that in the dub doesn't really makes better sense.
Yep.
But at the same
only
time,
watching the subbed.
and that's the thing. The only difference is I think that the characters are more emotive in the sub version, I would say. But the dialogue is more better than dub. So it's like makes more sense of what they're saying. It's like when they're talking about Firestarter, all this other stuff. Cool, it makes more sense. But this, hey, give the benefit of the doubt. Can't be too upset. I will say this. As of right now, we're going to continue with JJK because it just started. And we might pick up this series for season 2. Me and Chris are intrigued enough. So is Dion. I think that we're going to probably watch season 2 of this because it's just that interesting, but it also gives us a reason to go back and see where the story's going to end up.
That part.
Because I think watching 9, 10, and then watching 11, 12 pretty much racked our brain of like, what's going on? The only other question I have for you, why do you think they showed Zombie Girl last, Chris? Because I think they showing her last either tells me she's a major player for season 2, or she don't know what the world's going on right now. She slept and she don't know what's going on right around her right now.
I think it's a mix of both. I think it's a mix of like, cause one, not only is she a major player because she's the first person to kill the main character when he was still human, or quote unquote.
Quote unquote.
So, and not to mention, she's had a whole redemption arc herself.
Yes, she has. Very big redemption arc.
Right. So, and I'm pretty sure, like, if Pokey is getting powered up, I'm sure she's getting some kind of power up too. Just being connected to him.
Okay. That would make sense. It just feels kind of weird that you show her at the end of that episode and she's the last thing you see in that season. But yet she feels like either something, like you say, energy's gone into her, but she doesn't know it, or something's happened with her, the way her body feels. Like, let's do this. Get Up JJK season 2, episode 30. We're now going to one anime that's kind of weird to another. But this other one we're going into, which is JJK, least is very interesting. So I will say this. If anything, I would personally say, and I don't know how Chris would say it, If you're curious about Dead Mount Death play, go watch it for yourself. It is worth that. But you're probably going to have the same looks we've had throughout the season of questions and answers and things that don't make a lot of sense. At least this time, Chris didn't have to go grab Tylenol because his head was hurting. I'll say that. That was one good thing. But let's get up episode 30 of JJK. I will say 3, 2, 1, and then we'll get going. Chris, you ready?
Ready, bruh.
All right. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. It's like that is the episode title. Oh yeah, I forgot about this whole trailer in the
I was
first
about to say, why did they give us a whole trailer?
They literally give us a whole trailer for another movie inside of a show.
They really made this retarded movie look like a real movie. Something's wrong with him.
Yeah, something's wrong with him. So Megami, Fujiguro, and also we just seen it. Yeah, that's everybody from the previous.
Basically, all the first and second years
Yeah.
were recommended for first grade.
Okay, I thought you said a movie scene. They put a whole movie trailer in this episode was weird. I thought this scene was weird.
Bro, but this scene went hard though.
This scene went so hard that they didn't have to do it. You did a whole sports thing within a conversation. I love how they add the music to this too.
just to give it the epicness.
Yep.
And then
Basically saying somebody else could have recommended Itadori.
hmm
And he lost the game, which I thought was funny.
Yep. You lost, bro. All the way around.
This does kind of creepy. Like you were Itadori earlier.
Like, you been stalking me or something?
Yeah, that's the thing. I know
You
this the
know,
first time. First time.
I was gonna say something I didn't know it was the first time either. You go first.
I said that's the thing I didn't notice the first time. That when she said that, I'm
Okay.
like,
I didn't notice how tall she was the first time.
yeah, she's very tall. Which that was the other thing. I was like, tall. That's why she's bent over like that.
Yeah, I was like, no wonder the girl looked back at her like, whoa, personal
Man,
space much?
man, this song hits hard. I've heard the whole thing.
I need them to put it on Spotify.
No, it is.
Send it to me.
I sent that link to you. I think it's in your texting. It's here in your text. I text you that link for it.
Okay, well, I can't check right now.
Yeah. It's in the link for it. I texted you it because they put it the day after we talked about it. It was up on Spotify
Okay, big.
and it's called Special. Man, this imagery goes hard. I will say that too.
You know me, man. Every song I hear, I want to hear HBC marching band play it.
Oh, I could. This one you could probably get a marching band to play, but it's not.
Mhm.
It's not. It's not. It's not like deep in sound as most of the other ones.
No, actually, it really is deep and sounds a lot. It's a lot of chords.
Yes. She looks her up and down like what the.
I mean, Brandon, if I suddenly got skinny and grew another what 5 6 inches, you'd be like, Chris, what the freak, dude?
Yeah, I probably would be. That's true.
Like, what if the next time you saw Drew, he's just jacked, ripped, looking
Yeah,
like Dwayne Johnson?
that's also true. Yeah, people do change fast.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, she says URL,
Yep.
but isn't she? Wait, wouldn't that be directions though?
Where are you in real life? That's what it stands for. I ain't looked it up after.
Oh, okay, okay.
I really thought that was a cool animation.
That was very cool animation. They did that animation for that.
Bruh. I really need to hear the English translation after
I want to
that.
hear the English translation for this one. This episode seems like a good English one.
I wonder if they're really gonna say she's like blah blah blah. I want to hear them say that.
I love the fact you call him out for drinking his coffee black, and yet you
Just
called
like
him. And you called him.
oh my god. Well, you know, I do remember him saying that too, that he liked tall girls.
Yeah.
That is the line you don't want to hear from somebody like that too.
I love those like tense. That's perfect.
Like, bro, at all the times for you to win.
You just
Bingo.
won. Just did a perfect 10 on a dive and swimming.
Oh, I'll say that for the end.
I do think I love how they play with this trope. I love how they play with this trope because he says he likes the way she writes and eats food. But at the same time, you hear the guy in reply go, "You don't want a tall girl with a basically a big butt," and I was like, "Wait, huh? What are you,
Mm-hmm.
what are you getting at here?" Because like,
Playing
so
into the insecurities of women.
correct.
Man, we might have to get Mahalia on this one.
I wouldn't be. I would be down for it because it's actually kind of interesting. It is an interesting topic they pulled out for this.
Mm.
But the only thing is, which is kind of sad, people like different types of people. So not really like it's not surprising. And actually, over time, they've made it where Kirby is like the new beautiful and all that kind of stuff. So
I just think there needs to be a understanding. So we'll keep
yeah,
it that. I'll keep it like that.
yeah. There's need to be understanding. So this is the school he went to before he moved to Jujutsu High, correct?
Yeah,
Which we never saw that school. We only saw the school once.
correct. I have a prediction. Just remind me at the end. It's,
I
yeah.
will. I'll remind you. Before I get a boyfriend, that would piss me off.
I actually heard him understand him when he said thank you. Brandon,
What?
I think I might be starting to pick up the language a bit better. Either that or they was some really good voice acting.
That was really good voice acting. It was not rushed. It was simple.
No, but I was able to like understand it,
Yeah, yeah.
like almost without looking at subtitles.
We heard from Gojo about.
I wonder if they're switching dialects.
What do you mean?
Some texts are easier to pick up by the ear than others.
Hmm. Oh, like formal, informal stuff.
Yes.
Could be, but we also just kind of easier, probably translation purposes, so you can do a lot of informal.
Hmm.
Nakamaro's with Bali's down below.
You notice something?
What?
In the hidden inventory episodes, remember when she was walking through a building, she was scared to walk through there,
Yep.
and now she just walked right into that building without any kind of hesitation.
Without any care in the world. Yep. So she's grown since then. This scene was weird because he says they have arrived. They open the door, he's gone.
Yeah, but he wasn't talking about them.
Oh, that's right. I get it now. So that they're at the wrong place.
Yep.
Still looks so weird that he's back to normal and he did that pact.
Well, just like he explained it to him, he don't want no bad luck to come to them either.
I do love the fact that he can just summon the mechs from out of nowhere.
Bro, when he brought out this guy, I was like, man.
That's just a giant mech. It's like a Gundam.
Like, for real, man. But it fixed his character, though, so I wouldn't admit.
Yeah.
I think this is their way of telling you how big this next season is going to be.
He lowered the veil, by the way. I forgot he lowered the veil. Question.
Thank you. Yeah.
Ultra cannon.
Now, it ain't no way he should survive that.
No, there shouldn't be. That rewatching that again, that was really good.
Man, sorry.
I'm gonna do the top big three things from this episode. I won't go through it full on, but I'll give you the big three things. Number one, Ichidori and his former classmate. The classmate wanted to figure out who does Ichidori still remember her, and then so Fuguro and the other girl tried to help her find out if Ichidori did. He did, so that was kind of one plot point. Then we get to the middle of the plot point. That was one plot point. Then we get to the middle of the episode where we find out that the team has been sent to go get Mekamaru and capture him, interrogate him because he was a mole inside the school. They get there, they don't see him, they got sent to the wrong location. Chris made the observation: the girl in the purple hair from the hidden inventory arc. She hated going into places like this. She was always very scared. This episode, she just walks into one easily, no questions asked. The last plot point was that Mekamaru, the guy who controls all the puppets, he was waiting on Mahito and Gojo's old best friend. They needed to make a pact with him to restore his body, which they did. Basically, Siguro mentions the pact is you can do a pact with yourself. If you do a pact with yourself, if you break your own self pact, anything you would have gained from improvement of abilities, you lose. If you do a pact with somebody else, if either one of y'all break that pact, either person can be killed. That's the short of it. That is something that best example of that is the guy that's from the 9-to-5 job that when he's during his 9-to-5, he only uses about 90% of his energy, of his cursed energy. When he's after 5 o'clock, it's overtime, so he can use up to 110% of his cursed energy, 10%, 120% of his cursed energy. If you use more of his cursed energy between 9 and 5, you can't use the energy after 9 to 5. So they make the pact. He gets his body back. He has stored up so much energy for 17 years, 1 month, and I think 9 days. I think what it was.
Yep.
That's so much cursed energy that he's going to use it to get back to Gojo so he can tell him what's going on. He's playing the double agent here. The ending shot of this episode where you see him charge up 1 full year at Mahito and shoot it at him. We don't see if he gets killed or anything. It just kind of leaves off a hanger where he's like red, kind of bright, kind of flashy, and that's it. I will say this: I think this episode's really good. Watching it back again, I think it's really well done, really fun. There is a small plot point in here. Two other small plot points. One is with Ichidori's brother, as he says brother, but Ichidori don't think it's a brother. They and the other girl that has like the long gray hair made the thing of like these should be the next first grade sorcerers. So that would mean every first year and every second year. They did a cool scene for that. But then we had the whole volleyball, the whole tennis table game, which goes really hard, really fun, really good. Big thing from that. She tells him that if Ichidori didn't get voted by you, somebody else will pick them up. And then the other weird thing they did in this episode, they do a full on what do you say, Chris? About 3 minute trailer for a Human Earthworm movie,
Man, about a
which
good 4, 5 minutes.
which was actually kind of funny because you do a whole nother trailer for a movie that's in the show itself. Fine, cool. So that's the big stuff. Chris, what did you think? You also said you had a theory or a prediction about something. What was that about?
Okay, so what? All right, so we even remember when we watched the show where the ending, um, it's like the main character figures like okay, basically at the end of Hidden Inventory, the dude gets a what's it called? A psychological break where when the girl gets hit in the head and
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
shot. What if the same thing happens to Itadori and that girl that likes him?
Oh, you're talking like he go mad if she gets killed.
Sukuna,
Mm-hmm.
he would probably just have freedom, but freedom. Dude would
Sukuna,
probably.
Sukuna would come
Mm-hmm.
out fully and just kind of do his thing.
Right, but the other part of the twist is that the girl was giving off cursed energy when she was in school. What if that's the cursed energy that actually made her look that way?
Oh, that would be interesting. That could be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But why would the curse entry make her look more attractive? That doesn't.
That's part
That,
of the deal.
so it's a pact between. Okay. 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 I can see that.
Yep.
As the more she emits off curse energy, the more attractive she gets.
Mm-hmm.
And now, since she's emitted off so much curse energy, she looks a lot better.
That part.
Huh. That'd be a weird way to do it, but it actually would work out for the plot.
Yep.
Um, yeah, that's a theory. I will say this, and I think I told Chris this. I'm gonna say this right now. Mechamaru is not surviving. Mechamaru is dying. By the second episode, by the third episode, he's dead. Because I think at this point, Mechamaru's already know he's a made man in the sense of like, when I say made, he's already caught. The
Yeah.
school is gonna catch him anyway for being the mole for the other side and give him information about things. And two, Siguri wants the Sukuno's fingers. He wants Itadori because he knows Itadori can get the rest of Sukuno's fingers, and Sukuno's fingers are a big plot here, big plot point here. And we already know that he's going to do something on October 31st in Shibuya, some kind of thing coming up. So he's planning for that as well. This episode was fun. Like this episode was fun. I think the only thing that kind of doesn't really work is the whole movie trailer in the beginning.
I think they did that out of pure, hey, we got the money to do it.
Yeah, we get the money. We can literally just make a movie trailer for y'all. It doesn't really
Mm-hmm.
mean much. It basically is for Ichidori to tell you about this movie. Cool. Which comes back around at the end. But at the same time, I don't think it was like the biggest plot point ever.
No, not at all.
Chris, what would you give this episode? Episode 1 of the Shibuya incident or episode 1 of the True Bay Incident, episode 30 of this season.
Give it a 7.2.
Yeah. Ooh.
7.2.
Ooh. Okay. Okay, that's kind of low, and we both
Out of
liked it.
all the other ways you could have introduced the show, you did good. It was great. It was nice. It had a little slice of life feeling to it. It was nice. It was nice, but that's not what I'm expecting of this show. I'm expecting to see some heads roll. So so episode 2, I'm expecting to see some. Yeah.
It's gonna be a slow burn. That's what they're kind of getting at. It's a slow burn. It's gonna be a super slow burn because we have 17 episodes. It's episode 1 of 17. This is gonna be so slow to the point where we ain't gonna get to the meat and potatoes till we get to like episode 7 or 8.
I hope they don't do it like Attack on Titan.
Oh, where it's like that slow? I don't think it's gonna be that slow. No, that's too slow. I think it's gonna be I think it's gonna be very character driven.
Okay.
I would have to give it a 7.
Okay. See? Yeah.
There's 2 things. The reason why I give it a 7. I do agree with you. It is just setting up to the main conflict, the incident at Shibuya. When is that whole plot line come into play? What kicks off that plot line? And what's the big reason for it to kick off in the first place? The only other reason I give this a 7, and I think it was just a small thing to me, I think you could have cut out the Air Force movie thing completely.
That part.
I think you could cut that out completely, and it has no bearing on anything else. The tennis thing, at least the table tennis thing, has a reason. There's a reason behind it. Earth 4 and 4 had no reason behind it. It was just there.
Not at all.
But I'll give you one prediction.
Shoot.
I think this. I think Mechamaru dies. I think that kicks off from Jujutsu High saying, even though he's a mole, he's still one of us. We need to go find out who killed him. And that leads him to the path of Seguri and Mihito. Mihito. And that ends up finding out he knew something about a plan that Seguri had. What that plan was, we don't know. I think that's going to be that's going to kick off that plot thing, and Gojo's going to get back involved into the plot. Because he's not in this first episode. He's probably not going to be in the second either. I think he doesn't come until about episode 3. And that's when we fully... Because I think Mechamaru even says, I need to get back to Gojo.
Everything all right?
No, I was thinking. He's like, I need to get back to Gojo, but he also says I don't want to go back there because if I do go back there, I'm going to get killed on the way. And he says he has to kill Mihito, but he can't. He can't win that. He has a chance to win that.
I think so. I don't think Mechamaru is going to die. I think they might fake it, maybe possibly. I don't know, but he was saying he was a mole because he wanted them to bring his body back. And he used it to get information on them because he's a mole. But now he's trying to get information back to Gojo. So yeah.
It's a hard line to kind of build because there's both sides. He wants to get information back to Gojo. He wanted his body back, so he had to make the pact. Even though the pact, if he wants to break the pact, he dies anyway. So it doesn't really.
Right.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to episode 2, which will be this Thursday. Episode 2 will be this Thursday. We have a long journey. We're gonna be here till December, ladies and gentlemen. So I hope you're buckled in for a very long ride, a very good long ride. But for next week, we're gonna go back to our normal stuff. We're gonna do some new stuff. We might have some anime dates for a lot of stuff in October by next week. I would think so, because we're getting in the middle of September. We'll do one episode of JJK, which will be episode 2, but also we might reflect if we get a chance. We might reflect on the full season of Dead Mount Death play. We might do some things in the future, like animes we're looking forward to as well. So there's a lot of things we can do there. But ladies and gentlemen, I do thank you for watching episode 20 of the Anime Dojo. Thank you, Chris, for joining me. We'll see you next week for episode 2 of the Shibuya incident for JJK, Jujutsu Kaisen. I'll put this up on the podcast and the YouTube channel. I do thank you for listening. Hope you did enjoy, and hope you're here for next time. See ya.
Later, guys.